Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for Project Life. This is week 21, so stick around. What's up, friends? It's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for being here. This is week 21 of my Project Life album. Today I am using more of the May, well, really technically it's the April Stories by the Month kit, but you receive a month ahead for us folks who plan ahead of time. So all of the items are May themed or May related, but I received it in April. I am also going to be bringing in some embellishments. I have some puffy stickers from the Paper Person shop in my stash. I've got Studio Calico labels. I've got random pieces of chipboard and puffy heart stickers as well that are from Ellie Edwards. All right, so diving in to the process, I started the title. I needed to use yellows and greens because that was what was left in this kit. And so the sentiment when life gives you lemons hadn't worked for me yet, really, and with the colors in the photos previously in this month. But the beginning of this week started off with Nora being sick, so it was the perfect title card for the week. So the good thing about Monday was that my mother-in-law was still home with us. And so Nora did end up staying home from school with her while I worked a half day. And towards the end of the day, she was feeling a little better, and she finished sewing a pillow that she made with my mother-in-law, her grandma, who she used to call Gam Gam and now just basically just calls her grandma. But I refer to her as Gam Gam just because that's who she was to us when Nora was little, and it just stuck with me. So anyhow, I'm embellishing that little photo I took of them while they were working on the pillow with the 5 chipboard and then little puffy sticker, smiley face, emoji, and stamp the date, which was the 19th. Sorry if I forgot to mention that. This is May 19th through the 25th that I'm documenting. And then moving on to the middle row, I just take the two 3x4 size elements there, the vellum card that says making lemonade today, and then the photo of Nora in bed. She fell asleep in our bed. She asked me to come and snuggle her. I was finishing up something in the craft room, and about 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes later, I walked in and she was completely passed out with the pillow over her body and the kitten behind her. So I had to take a picture. It was just so cute. This other photo of her asleep with the kittens was Monday, and that was taken Monday afternoon. She really didn't feel well. We had gone to the doctor at 1 o'clock, and they said she didn't have strep, which is what I was worried about because her throat was bothering her. So we chalked it up to maybe just a cold or allergies, but then we had 2 thermometers, one digital, they were both digital, but one was the forehead read and the other was like oral, and neither one seemed to be working right. So I kept trying to feel her head, and I couldn't tell if she was warm because she was in the covers. And I was like, you're probably fine. Like, you tested negative for strep. Doctor said you seemed okay. So, you got to go to school. So I made her go to school Tuesday, but then Tuesday, she was literally in school for a half an hour when I got a call from the nurse saying, you need to come pick her up. She has 100.1 temperature. And I was like, oh, great. So that is what happened at the beginning of the week. And she fortunately, like, she never gets fevers ever, hardly ever. And I wouldn't even say 100.1 is really like a fever, but I guess in the public schools here, it's anything over 100. So she was just over that number. And she did complain that she wasn't feeling well. So I took her home, and Tuesday, it worked out because Tuesday is my day at home anyways. And so she slept most of the afternoon, and when she woke up, she felt so much better and was fine. So who knows what the heck was going on? It could have been from the lack of sleep if you followed me last week, or you follow me in my other videos. I've mentioned she's not the greatest sleeper, and on and off for the last week or so, she had been up for hours in the middle of the night. So obviously that is a recipe for like making your body susceptible to illness and that type of thing. So who knows, but she was fine and went to school on Wednesday, which was good because my principal was not happy with me that I had to take a half day Monday. That's a whole nother story that I won't divulge here. Feel free to hop up in my DMs if you want the tea on that. Okay, so I'm embellishing that picture with the little heart die cut. Actually, it's a big heart die cut. I ended up having to cut a bunch of those down. And then the bottom row is just a selfie with two of my students when I was working in the library, which was nice because I've only ever done that once before. So it was 2 weeks in a row of being in the library. I got to do for sub for the 1st and 5th grade classes, and then I was in special ed for the rest of the afternoon with my work hubby. So it was a really good day, really, really good day. And on the left is just like a space holder. It's just a dot grid pocket card from Studio Calico that I put the Love This card, heart card on it, the heart die cut, and then just a yellow puffy heart. And that's going to wrap up the left side of the spread, left side of the week. Also, you'll see that I'm using my Sharpie creative markers. I love using these on, or paint markers in general on my projects. So I pulled ones that coordinated with the colors for this week. And how perfect is that little puffy heart pencil for that picture of me at work? Hope you guys enjoyed the close-ups of the left side. Moving on to the right, very simple, sticking with the green and yellow theme yet again. I created a flip up for the selfie of my husband and I on our date Friday night, and a picture that my friends sent me of Nora playing VR with her friend who she hung out with while we went on our date. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that story while I look for a pocket card to go on the underside of this flip up photo. So Friday we had off. It was our school's professional development day. So Nora and I were home and Matt stayed home from work, which was awesome and unexpected. So we kind of just hung out all day on Friday. And then in the afternoon, we dropped Nora off at her friend's house while we went to dinner at the Korean barbecue, which was delicious. We ate so much food. And then we totally misunderstood the play date. And we thought Nora was just going over for like the evening. And Melissa, my friend, ended up was like, oh, I thought she was staying over. So we put, I called Nora and she said she wanted to stay over, which I was like, yeah, okay, you say that, but I guarantee you she's going to be calling us by midnight to come get her because the last 2 sleepovers, that's what happened. And she was like, no, I want to stay. So after we got home from being at the mall and I got some new sneakers, but unfortunately the gentleman who checked us out forgot to take off the security tag and I didn't realize it till Saturday morning. Anyways, after we got home, we packed Nora a bag and brought over for her to stay overnight, but around like 11:45, she was texting me that she didn't think she could sleep there. So my husband went and got her. The last 2 times it was me that had to get her. So it was good that he was able to do that. And of course, no shame. She's just not quite ready for it yet. Plus, she wasn't expecting it and kind of just in her mind, it was sprung on her pretty last minute. So it's understandable. I know someday she'll probably, want to sleep over at friends' houses and I'll miss her. So that was our Saturday event. And then on the big 4x6 card, I decided to take the paint pens and just like bullet. I was like, what could I use this for? And because I already took the opportunity to do the journaling about the story for Friday on the underside of the flip up. So I decided to use the Here for This card to just write some really big text about things I've purchased this week, which was kind of a lot. So I wrote Lululemon slides, my first pair of On Cloud sneakers, new watch band, and Summer Fridays lip gloss. And then I wrote, I guess I went a little hard buying all the things this week. Oops. And I just put the little chipboard lemon on there just because I needed to use it in this week's spread. And that was kind of the only place it made sense to use it, even though I guess it doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm journaling about on that card, but that's okay. And then the next row has 3 3x4 slots. So I'm journaling, and then I'm also taking the opportunity to use another dot grid card to be a space holder and kind of, break up all of the handwritten journaling and the embellishments to just kind of have a little bit of a break for your eyes. And so I just found this lemon die cut tag that I think is an old Studio Calico embellishment that I adhered to the journaling card, and that's literally all that's going in that pocket. The middle picture is a very blurry photo I took of us at the movies on Saturday night. We went to see Lilo and Stitch, and we loved the take on the animated version. It was triggering for me because, again, Disney loves the orphan trope, the foster care trope, the adoption trope, and I am an adoptee. So they did, in fact, use the word relinquished in the film, which I appreciated, but there was a lot more to the story, emphasized on the welfare, like the government workers trying to take Lilo so that she could be in, a more healthy placement, quote unquote healthy. And some of those parts were triggering for me, but overall, I thought the movie was really well done and I liked it a lot. In fact, I loved it. And I cried like 3 times. We were sitting next to another family of 3, and the husband was like bawling throughout the movie. So I guess I didn't feel so bad crying a bunch of times. And it's been a while since a movie has made me cry. I don't usually cry much during movies. So I just embellished it with, like, I cut down that heart die cut because it was huge. And then I put the movie puffy sticker on the top, and then a little heart puffy. And then on the other journaling card with like the rainbow effect, I cut down the text from that heart that says a few details May, and I stamped the date on it, which I chose to journal on that card about Saturday because even though, yeah, we did see the movie in the evening, during the day, we spent a lot of time together. We ran errands as a family, and usually it's just Matt and Nora who do that together, so that was special. And yeah, I talked about how when we went to Trader Joe's, Nora and I added way too much stuff like that was not on the grocery list to the cart, and my husband was like, "This is why I can't bring you guys grocery shopping." I'm like, "I know, sorry." Um, so that's the middle row all wrapped up. The last row is just a picture of Nora helping Matt make gluten-free Dubai chocolate, which she'd been really, really wanting and begging him to make. So he bought a mold, and they made it from scratch, complete with like the pistachio cream. And instead of the phyllo dough, they used coconut, shredded coconut. So it turned out really good, actually, and I don't even like coconut. And then on the last 4x6 card, I was just using my Sharpie to bullet things about Sunday, just how it was a chill day at church, and then Nora had a sleepover, and then Matt and I took the evening on Sunday night while the girls were in bed to plan taking Nora to our Six Flags the next day. She was totally surprised by that, so that's going to be in next week's Project Life. So on that note, if you enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up, make sure you are subscribed, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, friends, and remember that you are enough. Bye!